no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life. You better do the damn thing right.
Welcome guys back to the ShoeBender podcast. I'm so glad to have you guys back. We finally got some stuff to talk about in the sports world. We're going to start off straight in with the NBA Finals and what happened in Game 1. There's a little hair right here, my bae. But in Game 1 against the Boston Celtics and the Golden State Warriors, the Boston Celtics were able to leave Golden State. Well, not leave because they still play again today. But they were able to get Game 1, which is huge. I mean, it's huge for the confidence of the Celtics, just for the simple fact that this is their first time ever being in the finals. This group, obviously not the Boston Celtics, but this group of Celtics. And I think the thing that if I was a Golden State Warriors fan, that would really worry me is that Jason Tatum had a horrible game. I mean, he did not have a good game at all. And they still won. They had their role players step up, man. This is what I was talking about in my previous podcast, that it's mainly about the role players once it comes to this level of basketball. It's, the superstars are going to get their points. Everybody knows that. The superstars are going to do what they got to do. I mean, speaking of superstars, we got Steph Curry, who literally hit 6 threes in a row in the first quarter. And then he really died down after that. He really didn't do too much after that, but his teammates stepped up. You had Andrew Wiggins stepping up, Jordan Poole, Clay. And that's what happens. The one name that I didn't hear at all from Golden State, who we were hearing a lot about this last series against the Dallas Mavericks, was Kevin Looney. He was nowhere to be found, man. Robert Williams really shut him down and really made sure that he didn't affect the game at all, because Kevin Looney in the Dallas series, he legit was getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound or defensive rebound after defensive rebound. There was really no answer for him, and it showed. The Celtics got an answer for this guy, man, and that answer is Robert Williams. And Robert Williams held it down. He played his role perfectly. He had like 4 blocks. He was getting putbacks. He was catching alley-oops. He definitely was a big X factor in that win on Thursday against the Golden State Warriors. Derek White showed up. He was hitting shots. It didn't matter if they were contested. He was making them. He was schwapping them. And Jaylen Brown is actually the one that stepped up, the one that's been struggling, honestly. If you've been watching the playoffs, he's the one that's been struggling out of him and Tatum. And he came up huge in Game 1. He was taking it to the rack. He was popping jumpers in everybody's face. Like, he did his thing. The Warriors, they had like literally, the Celtics, they had them, man. They had them. They had the Game 1. Except basketball is a game of runs, and the Celtics ended up having their run at the best time. They got hot towards the end of the third quarter and then continued that streak into the fourth, which allowed them to come back. And Al Horford had one of the all-time great fourth quarters in NBA Finals history, man. I mean, he couldn't miss from 3. He was getting rebounds that mattered. I mean, all rebounds matter, but, obviously in crunch time, they matter a lot more. And he was doing his thing, man. Al Horford really showed out for all the Dominicans out there. I read a stat that he's the first Dominican to play in the NBA Finals, which I think is awesome, because I have a really great friend of mine. He's a brother of mine, and he's from the Dominican, and I just think that's awesome that, he's putting on for his people. And that's basically what all that happened in Game 1, man. The Celtics were able to go in there and steal a game from them. So it is a series now, because remember what I said, it's not a series until someone wins on the road. The Celtics won on the road already. They play again tonight at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, damn, that would suck to live on the East Coast, man, and have to deal with that kind of shit. But thankfully, we don't live on that side, and we live on the best side, which is the West Coast. Um, I honestly do got Boston leaving Golden State 2-0, man. I see it. I see it. At first I thought this shit would go to a game 7, but I just don't know if the Golden State Warriors, obviously they're gonna win some games, but to be able to bounce back after losing like that, I mean, they played a great game. You had your star player almost hit 40. You had role players step up, and you still lost at home. You still lost at home. And like I said, to me, I think the most scary part is that Jason Tatum didn't have a great game. He had a horrible game, and they were still able to win. Like, if Jason Tatum at least drops 30 points, that game's a blowout. It's not even close. So that's basically what went on in game 1 and what's going on in the NBA Finals. Like I said, they play again tonight, and I got Boston leaving Golden State up 2-0, man. And you do not want, if you're a Golden State fan, you really do not want that going into Boston, because they're gonna go back up to Boston after this game. And we all know how I feel about playing in Boston. It's the same thing with playing in Golden State, but I feel like it's way more enhanced in Boston. So we'll see what goes down there. Sticking to basketball news, the LA Lakers are finally finalized the contract to make Darvin Ham their next coach. Darvin Ham is a player that a coach that LeBron wanted. He was with the Lakers before. Kobe really said really good things about him. Kobe said that that Coach Ham would stay after practice and help him with anything, basically. LeBron used to play against Ham when he was with Detroit. So LeBron's played against him as a player. And a lot of people are raving about this guy, man. They think it's a great hire. They think it's a perfect fit. Mainly because I guess he has the answer to be able to how to use Russell Westbrook. Which I think he's just gonna let Westbrook be Westbrook. Like, that's just what he's gonna do. I feel like last season they weren't letting Westbrook be Westbrook. Like, they were just more like, hey, pass first, be a playmaker first, instead of attacking the rim, finishing at the rim, which he's best at. Westbrook's always been better when he attacks the rim, and then if someone literally is wide ass open, kick it out to them. But he's better at just downhill. That's his thing. It's just downhill basketball. He's never been a good jump shooter or a 3-point shooter. He can make them. It's not consistent. So we'll see how he uses Westbrook and what other players they bring around them. Also, too, what was I gonna say? I had something, and I kind of just forgot about it. Honestly, it just had like a brain fart. But that's basically what's going on in the NBA world. There really isn't too much going on in the NFL world. It's been really quiet, like, honestly, like really quiet. We just had two legendary players, retire, and Ryan Fitzpatrick and Frank Gore. Frank Gore is like second, I think. He's either like second or third in all-time rush yards ever. Ryan Fitzpatrick, of course, he's known for, just being a journeyman quarterback, and then just, having so many teams that he played for. They all both, honestly, I think are going to do great, in their next careers, whatever they pursue. Obviously, Frank Gore is pursuing professional boxing, which he won his pro debut. Ryan Fitzpatrick, I believe he'll probably go into TV. Like, he'll probably be an analyst. I feel like he'd be a great analyst. He is a Harvard guy, so he's obviously really knowledgeable, very smart. I know he'll make the right choice in whatever he decides to do. Appreciate it from all the NFL fans for everything you guys did for the game. It was awesome to watch you guys. Frank Gore, not as much, because you were 49ers running back, and I really hated to play against you because you were so good. But that's honestly basically what's going on in the NFL world. There isn't too much going on. which brings us into the boxing world. And last night there was a huge matchup for undisputed between George Kambosos and Devin Haney. It was a very built-up fight. There was a lot of trash talk back and forth. There was a thing going on with Haney's whole team that a lot of them weren't able to get visas. I mean, his dad was barely granted a visa to go into Australia like 2 days before the fight. George Kambosos missed weight on his first attempt and then made weight on the second attempt. And, they did fight in Australia, in Kambosos' home nation. And Devin Haney put probably one of the best master classes of boxing out there. Honestly, there was a lot of people. The Vegas had him as a favorite, but if you would have seen the boxing community, everybody thought that Kambosos was going to run through this kid. I mean, Devin Haney's only 23 years old. Kambosos is only 28. So, I mean, these guys are, Devin Haney hasn't really hit his prime yet, but Kambosos is in his prime. And, man, Devin Haney just laid it on this guy, man. Like, it was kind of weird to see because, the masterful class that Kambosos put against Teofimo Lopez was nowhere to be found in this second fight against Haney. Well, not the second fight, you know what I mean? Like, their first time. Haney just used his jab, man. He had a 4-inch reach, and he used it to perfection, man. He was jabbing him, he jabbed him to death, man. Kambosos in some of the rounds, not all of them, there's probably like 4 or 5 times where he really landed a haymaker, man. Like, I feel like he was just too patient. He was thinking too much. He just needed a box, let his hands go, and that wasn't happening because the times that he did let his hands go, he caught Haney, like I said, like 4 or 5 times, super clean, like some super power punches, man. But he was just too patient. I think he did kind of like what Lomachenko did against Teofimo, where he's just kind of just patiently waiting and just kind of just wanted to knock this guy out, which I'm pretty sure Kambosos could have. But the thing is that he wasn't aggressive enough. Which kind of shocked me because the way he fought Teofimo Lopez. But Haney put on a master class, man. Like, he definitely showed the boxing world that he is for real. I already knew about it. He definitely, finally got the big stage in front of 40,000 people. And now the kid that's only 23 years old is the undisputed champion of the world. He has all the belts now. He has all the Infinity Stones. He has them all right here. And I was seeing in the broadcast that Haney already did sign a rematch clause. So if he won, he pretty much has to give Kambosos another, a rematch. This time, obviously, it'll probably be in the USA. Me personally, I feel like Kambosos should take it. He should just, because I feel like he didn't give his best performance. Like, I know there's a better Kambosos in there somewhere. And then there's that Greek Spartan spirit that he has in him, But also there's another side that's telling me that he shouldn't have signed it just because of how bad he lost. Like, if it would have been like somewhat of a close fight or he would have shown some type of fight, then I get that. But like, it was bad, man. There was quite a bit of times where he was just swinging at the straight air. Haney just Haney really reminded me a lot of Floyd Mayweather. If I'm being honest, the way he boxed last night, he was jab, 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 and then bam, he would follow up with the left. When it was there, he wouldn't let Kambosos throw any combinations. Anytime that Kambosos was going to try to throw any combinations, he would tie up. And like I said, mainly it was just the defensive side too, that anytime Kambosos was trying to throw a haymaker, Haney just had him timed down to the T. Like Haney he's seen it all coming. Pause. And it was just a masterful class of boxing that Devin Haney put on last night. and now he's on top of the world. Like I said, he has all the Infinity Stones, so now he gets to choose who he wants to fight. A lot of people are saying Gervonta Tank Davis would be a huge fight. That would. Some people are saying Ryan Garcia. I feel like he probably still needs to hold off. Probably needs to fight at least 2 top 5 fighters in that weight class before he makes that jump. He's barely going to fight a top 10 fighter in that weight class. And so I feel like he really needs to hold off on it, especially like Kambosos is 30 times better than Ryan Garcia. And we just seen what Devin Haney did to him. So, I mean, if people think he has a chance, and that's totally fine. That's your opinion. Me personally, I think you're wilding. And this kid is not ready for any of these top 5 fighters in that weight class. Honestly, I feel like he'll lose to every single one of them. Every single one of them. The only one I could probably see him beating is Timofey. But any other guys, like you got Tank, you got Lomachenko, you got Haney. You're not beating any of those 3 guys. Like, let's be real. Timofey is probably your best shot. But yeah, that's what went down last night. And like I said, Devin Haney's on top of the world now. He is undisputed. There's only 3 other undisputed out there, and or 2 other, my bad. I was including him. You got Canelo, and then you got Jermell Charlo, man. Those are the only 2 other guys I could say they're undisputed. And Canelo's actually fighting Triple G here coming up in September, so we'll see how that goes down. I don't know if all the belts are going to be on the line that time, but you know, something's going to be on the line. I'm pretty sure it's just not the names. But yeah, that's basically what's going on in the sports world, guys. I kind of want to do is kind of segue into, you know, just personal stuff I've been watching, personal shows that I've been watching. If you haven't watched Stranger Things, please get on it, guys. Please get on it. It will be so worth your time. I promise you that. I don't watch too many shows. I really don't. But that show right there, man, please watch it. You won't regret it. It's a great show. I will send a fair not a spoiler, but just a warning. Season 2, it kind of gets a little crazy. It kind of throws you in for a loop. You kind of get confused, like what's going on. Get through it, man. Just get through it. Trust me, it will be so worth your time. Also, another show I started watching is just because I'm a huge fan of the character himself. I'm not huge into the franchise like a lot of people are, but I started watching Obi-Wan, which is, you know, about Obi-Wan, the guy that trained Anakin Skywalker, who is Darth Vader. And it's so good, man. It's a great show. I'm watching it. Like I said, I mainly just watch it because I'm a huge fan of Anakin Skywalker, aka Darth Vader. I think he's probably has the greatest story in all cinema, at least right now, you know. But his storyline, his arc, is just amazing. I love it. And so those are the 2 shows I'm watching right now. If there's any other shows you guys would recommend me watching that are really good or something like those kind of shows, I would greatly appreciate it. I'm not really into like scary shit. Like I don't do that kind of stuff. I'm more of I like comedies like The Office or Arrested Development. Modern Family is a huge one for me. So any of those kind of shows, please recommend them. I love them. Or just like I said, just in general, just any great shows, I'm always down to watch them. But yeah, that's basically it for today, guys. Make sure you guys tune in to the NBA Finals tonight. And I can't say it enough that I love you guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You'll get to where you need to be. Don't just have dreams. Chase them. Chase your dreams, man. It will all work out. The universe will come together and help you out achieve whatever you want, whatever it is your purpose to achieve. Remember to love your hugged ones. Hug your loved ones. Tell them how much they mean to you every single day, because the world we're living right now is a very, very toxic and scary place with all this horrible stuff going on. And if none of that stuff's affecting you, be grateful, because it is affecting a lot of people out there. a lot of people. So please just always love and hug your loved ones, because you literally never know, especially literally nowadays. It just feels like everything's just ramping up for the worst, and we got to keep being there for one another. I love all of it. Like I said, I love every single one of you guys. Thank you, every single one of you guys, for all the support you guys give me. It really does mean a lot. You guys make me feel very, very special and great for what I do, and I appreciate doing this for you guys. And like I said, we're gonna achieve greatness together, guys. This isn't a solo thing. This is a team. This is all a team. And I love you guys, and I will see you guys on the next one.
Yeah, there's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, no. There's no time to waste, no time to waste, no time to waste, so you better do the damn thing right. You only got one life.